Welcome back to the program. Yes, I had a chance to go through all the comments from yesterday, so please go ahead and check what I put out there. But, I'm looking at everything that's going on, and I'm seeing exactly what I've been saying all along, that at some point, corporate America is going to have to make a choice. How long? For at least, the past 2-3 years at least, when we were talking about all these different woke stories and, Dylan Multraney and everything going on at Target and the weird things that they're selling to children and Walmart being woke and Adidas being woke and, of course, Bud Light and now the Jaguar thing, right? Look, what have I been saying all along? I've been telling you that we're going to win the DEI and the woke thing. Why? Well, it's simple. Money. That's why. These companies and corporations are going bankrupt. They are losing money. So I've been saying for years that at some point, they're going to have to make that decision. Do we want to be broke and out of business and support wokeness and DEI? Or are we going to fight back against the Human Rights Campaign, which has absolutely zero to do with human rights? These are a bunch of leftist dirtbags, okay, that go around and pressure corporate America, right? The bottom line is they're going to side on this. They're going to side on money, folks, okay? And President Trump's re-election has absolutely torpedoed anything having to do with DEI. Major companies, including the largest employer in the world, has now said that they are done being woke. That's right. Listen to this. Unbelievable. This is coming from Sam Walton's Walmart. Maybe no longer rolling around in his grave. Here are the changes that Walmart is going to commit to in the very future, meaning right away, like in the new year, some of these things will be implemented, okay? Walmart will no longer participate in, again, the HRC, and it's not Hillary Rodham Clinton, no, it's the Human Rights Campaign. They are an evil, sadistic, malicious organization. Walmart will no longer participate in the HRC's Woke Corporate Equality Index. Products. Monitoring the Walmart marketplace to identify and remove inappropriate sexual and or transgendered products marketed to children. Funding of grants. We will review all funding of Pride and other events to avoid funding inappropriate sexualized content that targets children. Equity. We will no longer extend the Racial Equity Center, which was established in 2020 as a special 5-year initiative. In other words, they're done. They're not going to renew that. Supplier diversity. We will evaluate supplier diversity programs and ensure that they do not provide preferential treatment and benefits to suppliers based on, quote, diversity. We don't have quotas and won't be going forward with them either. Financial eligibility will no longer be predicated on providing certain demographic data. Latinx. Walmart pledges to no longer use that term in any official communications. Training. Walmart will discontinue racial equity training through the Racial Equity Institute. DEI. Walmart will discontinue the use of DEI as a term while ensuring a respectful and supportive environment. Our focus is on belonging for all associates and customers. Remember, Walmart is the #1 employer in America and in the top 5 of the entire world, with over 1.6 million employees, and they have a market cap of nearly $800 billion. So this won't just have a massive effect for their employees, who will have a now neutral workplace environment. without feeling that divisive issues are being injected upon them, but it will also extend to their many, many suppliers. We've now changed policy at companies worth over $2 trillion, with many millions of employees who have better workplace environments as a result. This is coming from an excellent, awesome patriot, Robbie Starbuck, and I'm not sure what the name of his organization is, thewaronchildren.com, if you want to learn more about him. He's a freedom fighter, but he's also a filmmaker and just a great patriot. So he's been pressuring a lot of these big types of corporations and companies, and he had some pressure campaigns going against Walmart and others. And Walmart has come to their senses. They saw the tea leaves. They saw this last election. They can clearly see that DEI and wokeness is not popular overall in this country, and quite frankly, probably for the world. And so they want to make money. So you know what? They're going to push back on these leftist idiots in these weird organizations like the HRC organization, which is definitely the worst of the worst of the worst of them. Okay? Now, here's what's even better about this. This is Walmart doing this and pledging to do this. Who do you think's next? Target? Adidas? Kohl's? I don't know. How many other stores, big box stores, are going to follow suit? This is awesome. Awesome news to start off tonight's show with. So I wanted to let you know that I told you at some point, wokeness is going to be brokenness. And here's living proof of it. So good on that. Now, let's go through a couple of other things here. Hang on one second here. Let me get out of there. Okay. So the House election results are right so far. Pretty close to what I've been talking about. Right now it's 213 to 220. Republicans 220. Democrats 213. There are 2 races left. I'm going to stick with my guns. And I'm going to say that they're going to split those. Now, obviously, they're still counting. India counts 640 million, okay? 640 million votes in a day. But yet California takes 22 plus days to count 15 million votes? Something's going on. I know what's going on. Cheating, okay? Cheating. What they're doing is they're trying to get to a point where it's only a 5-point lead, okay? That's what they're hoping for. They want this to be 220 to 215. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm still going to go with 221 to, I think, 214. I think the last 2 are going to get split. We'll see what happens. I'm not the one counting the votes, okay? But looking at it, everything, I said it was going to be 7 to 9. I'm still sticking with the 7. So we'll see what happens. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is the Ohio Senate. When J.D. Vance obviously relinquishes his U.S. Senate seat and becomes the vice president, who's going to take over? Well, it's not going to be Vivek, right? Because he's doing Doge. So who is it going to be? Well, there's some pretty good contenders right now. And the one that's leading and is likely going to be the person is the one that we would all want to be the person. His name is Frank LaRose. And Frank LaRose is the Ohio Secretary of State. Now, if you remember a couple of months ago, he's the one that busted that huge counterfeit voting ring that was going on near Springfield in the Haitian community where they were doing illegal voting. He stopped it, okay? So he's been very pro-Trump. He would be somebody that would certainly have an opportunity to win in 2026 when he has to run for his seat again. And I think that he would be a great choice. The other one is John Usted, who is, I guess, the lieutenant governor. Is that who that is? I believe. And then also there's Yost, who's another pretty good conservative. But I think right now it's looking like Frank LaRose. So we'll see what happens there. Now, let's talk about something else. So obviously we know that Jackoff Smith has dropped these cases against President Trump. The documents case is gone. The January 6th case is gone. Shutkin just about an hour and a half ago shut that one down as well. So now there is no cases in D.C. There are no cases in Florida. Now, some people are saying, well, they could bring it back. Even Charlie Kirk said that they could bring it back and this and that. Look, if they do what I'm hoping they're going to do, which is go after these people, they're going to be the ones that are going to need a pardon, okay? So they're going to have to lawyer up. So this whole notion that in 4 years they're going to go after Trump again, they're going to be in a jail cell, I hope. And I don't know how you're going to be able to go after somebody when you've lost your law license, you've lost your security clearances, and you're in a federal prison for hopefully 7 to 10 or maybe even more than that years. Because from what I'm understanding, they're going to go into specific charges. They're not going to just spray it all over the place. They're going to go after U.S. Code 241, which is conspiracy of rights. And that one in particular is a very serious felony. And I haven't checked, but I think it's somewhere around 10 years in jail at a minimum. You can look it up yourself. I didn't check on that one, but I know that is one of the more serious ones. There's also deprivation of rights under color of law. There's a couple of them that they can go after. But I think it's going to be precision. I think they're going to go after certain precision, okay? And that's what we're going to hopefully find out. Also, remember this. President Trump can do something that nobody else can do. He can pardon himself on day one. And so if he's pardoning himself, then how can they go after him? Isn't that double jeopardy? So again, I'm not too worried about 4 years from now, because hopefully these people are going to be in a jail cell. At least that's what I'm hoping. Okay? Now, the other thing that I was going to touch on is President Trump is talking about who his FBI director is going to be. His FBI director, everybody wants the same person, including me, okay? Including me. I would love to have Kash Patel be the FBI director. But here's the thing. I want to drain the swamp immediately on day one more. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean that I'm not for Kash Patel. Of course I am. But Kash Patel is going to basically bring the same type of just insane amount of scrutiny and attacks as Matt Gaetz did. And so you're going to have another volatile type of situation in which the rhinos in the Senate, are going to do everything they can to delay him. It could be February, it could be March, something like that. We cannot have that. So we had that possibly happening with Gaetz. Now we're not. Now we have an attorney general that should get in right off the bat, right away, who's just as capable and probably more capable. So if it's not Kash Patel, because of the long, attacks and the rhinos going against him and all these people saying they'll never vote for him and all this other craziness, who could be a good alternative? Well, obviously Ken Paxton would be great, but the thing is with Ken Paxton is we need him in Texas. He's phenomenal for Texas. And Texas is a huge state, and it's a border state, and it's important because we need to be able to do the criminal prosecutions in Texas. And he right now is working diligently on taking out and taking down the Act Blue organization for money laundering. Okay? So let him stay doing that. So who could be the alternative? Well, there's a gentleman by the name of Andrew Bailey. And you folks may or may not know exactly who he is. But Andrew Bailey is the Attorney General right now in Missouri. And if you don't know who he is somebody that actually went after the Biden administration in a lawsuit known as Missouri versus Biden. And he was the lead plaintiff in that case. And he also joined with the Gateway Pundit and Jim and Joe Hoft. So he is definitely Trump. He is definitely MAGA. And he is definitely hardcore. But more importantly, he would probably get nominated and go through confirmation a hell of a lot easier than a Kash Patel. Again, don't get me twisted here. I would love to have Kash Patel. And if we didn't have 5 or 6 or whatever rhinos in the Senate, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you right now. But we need an FBI director that's going to be just like him on day one. And so perhaps Andrew Bailey might be that person. He also went after New York for indicting President Trump. So he is definitely somebody to keep an eye on. I don't know who it's going to be, but keep an eye on that. And if it's not Kash or Matt Gaetz, again, you don't have to have somebody that has to be gone through a confirmation process. You could have Kash Patel be a special prosecutor, special counsel, appointed by President Trump for the D.C. area, Washington, D.C., and then he would have carte blanche to go after all these criminals in Washington. He could do that as a special counsel. Matt Gaetz, of course, jurisdiction as well. He could do that in Florida. He could do that in Washington. He could do media. There's a lot of things that he could do, okay? A ton of different things. And so what I'm saying is we don't have to eat the elephant in one bite. We can take little bites here and there. Special counsel for D.C., special counsel at the Southern District of New York, and go after Letitia James, and go after Judge Egaron, and go after Juan Morchan, and go after Alvin Bragg. Do you see what I'm saying here? Then we could find somebody that could do Georgia. Maybe special counsel Alina Habba could go after Fannie Willis in Georgia. Matt Gaetz can go after, Jack Smith in the Florida Mar-a-Lago case. And Kash Patel could be the D.C. one. So we can still drain the swamp with these special counsels, but more importantly, we still would have a Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice running the whole show, and she wants to drain the swamp. And then somebody like an Andrew Bailey, the Missouri Attorney General, would be similar to a Kash Patel, but not as divisive and an easier confirmation. So just kind of think of that. And I think that's what Trump's team is doing right now, because they understand, they've learned something from the Gaetz thing, that if they pick somebody that can't get, confirmed through the Senate, they can eventually be appointed through a recess appointment. It's legal. I've talked about that. The 1998 Federal Vacancies Reform Act allows that to happen. 210 days, right? I've already discussed all that. But that takes time. And that would mean that these rhino Republicans in the Senate would stall and stall and stall and stall and stall. And we're missing 2-3 months of investigations, indictments, arrests, whatever. We can't afford that, okay? We cannot afford that. So that's why we have to kind of think, rationally and intelligently here. And I think, like I said, we can still get the elephant. We just don't have to bite the elephant in one big bite. We can take little pieces of that elephant and tear it apart into little pieces, and we can do it quicker doing it that way. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.